Today, we're going to talk about all the various things that you should be doing each day to gain the maximum benefit from New World. Of course, before we jump in, I like to add, as always, if you are enjoying New World, just play it how you want. But if you are looking to optimize your time and make sure that you don't miss anything in particular, or you're trying to get the absolute most out of your playtime, this is a simple guide that I built to go over the various different things that you should be doing every day or every week or even every season to make sure that you are getting the most out of New World. If you feel that I left anything out, leave it down in the comments below. If you are watching this in the future and they've added other daily events that can be done or weekly events, then please add them as well so people can see that. And I'll try to do my best to update the top comment with anything new. The very first thing I would recommend that you do is take care of the things that are on a cooldown, but the easiest thing to do each day. The first one would be to check your faction vendor and purchase any of the items that have a cooldown limit per day. If you are looking to increase your trade skills, these items are a good buy. And of course, once you max out your faction and you are down to the lower ones, buying these gypsum orbs are another one, and the chromatic seal and Azoth inductors are on a daily cooldown. Be sure to pick them up when they go on cooldown each day. In addition to the faction cooldowns, you also have item crafting cooldowns. These items include Asmodium, prismatic ingots, runic leather, phoenix weave, glittering ebony, rune stones, prismatic leather, cloth, planks, and blocks. These can only be crafted 10 times per day, and you should take advantage of crafting each of these items every day. Bouncing out of that into our activities tab, we have a few activities that are reset every day. The first one is our expeditions, which each day you can complete 3 of them to receive an extra reward. Additionally, you can do the mutated expeditions, and that can be done twice a day. Soul trials can be done once per day for each of the 3 soul trials, and the trial of the devourer can be completed once per day as well as once per week for different rewards. Back at our faction vendor, be sure to pick up 3 quests. It doesn't matter whether they're the PvP or the PvE quests, and the first 3 that you complete every day will receive a boost. It's also a good idea to do a variety of different chest runs each day to make sure you're getting loot drops and increasing your gear score. If you go into the recruitment tab in your chat, you'll see a variety of different people tagging various different chest runs that you should be able to join. If you don't understand what each of the words might mean, then just go ahead and ask in chat. People are pretty good about answering your questions, but be sure to jump on some of these for various different chest runs. Elite chests can be opened once a day, and they give a really good variety of gear as well as materials. Another good thing to do is if you come into your map and you go into the conflicts tab, each night you'll notice a variety of different races that are going on. These go for 45 minutes and they start on the hour every hour, with a 15-minute lag time between each race. These are fun little events where a bunch of people gather together to try to overthrow the current faction in that region. If you're in the area when that specific race starts, it should be pretty easy to find a group to join. Additionally, you'll notice that there are a variety of different wars, and although this is the first week of this server, there's no invasions right now, but eventually you'll also see invasions going on. Scroll through the conflicts tab and find some different things that might seem enjoyable and jump on board with those. It's a great way to get some additional loot. Another daily routine to get into is your gypsum farms. Each of these gypsums are received in different ways, and let's jump through each of them really quickly. You can receive 3 obsidian gypsum a day, and that is received by defeating level 60 plus open world elite bosses. You can get 2 sapphire gypsum a day for beating level 60 plus expedition bosses, and that is the final boss. You can get 2 garnet gypsum for doing PvP arena. You can get 1 emerald gypsum a day for getting a trade skill aptitude. You can get 2 citrine gypsum a day for doing a PvE arena. You can get 7 amethyst gypsum a day for closing level 60 plus corrupted breaches. You can get 2 ruby gypsum for completing outpost rush every day. You can craft 1 spore craft gypsum every day by doing things in the Elysian Wild. You can get 3 diamond gypsum a day for participating in special events or by gathering nodes. And lastly, when you have a topaz gypsum attunement potion active, you can get topaz gypsum for killing level 55 plus enemies out in the open world. Before we touch up on the last section, Cutlass Keys, and the open PvP free-for-all area, if you found this at all useful, I would greatly appreciate a like, and comment below if you feel I left anything out or what you found to be the most useful. As always, on your way back up, hit that subscribe button. One thing I would like to say on Cutlass Keys before we get into the daily things that you can do is that Cutlass Keys can be taken as much or as little as you want. Note that the little fog lines that you see here on the map, it is required for you to be PvP flagged to go into this region. You can find a chest inside this region that when opened, seems like the first open of the day gives you a guaranteed coconut. And that would be a good idea to do that. But in addition, just getting some doubloons from the area, get in, get what you can get before you die and get out would be really recommended. You don't need a ton of the doubloons each week to do the advice that I'll give you. So get in and get what you can get done and get out. Don't kill yourself trying to do it. And if you end up just getting ganked by a group of people, then just bounce and come back the next day. Try to stock up on as much doubloons as you can. Before I get too far ahead of myself though, let's jump into the Cutlass Keys section. Just be aware that it's not mandatory and you can avoid this section if PvP is just not your thing at all. The last thing we'll discuss, which I'm covering last because PvP may not be everybody's thing and going into Cutlass Keys may not be what anybody wants to do. But when it comes to this zone, you can do a very little bit inside of it in order to benefit greatly. The first thing that you can do is come up here to the Well of Fortune, and inside of it, you want to craft this glittering gold key. This has a weekly cooldown, and you can use this key to unlock chests in Cutlass Keys. Also, if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see the gold cursed epic crate. You can craft 3 of these a day, and that's a good one to grab as well. I do recommend as well spending the 10 mystic doubloon to grab your 5 gypsum each day. One last thing I guess we should also touch up on is that there is a seasonal trial that you should try to do during the season, as well as the raid Hive of Gorgons, which has a weekly item. I believe it's called the Eye of the Gorgon or something like that, that once it drops, it can only do that once a week, and that is on a cooldown as well. And that's it. I really wanted to keep this as short as possible. I know there's a lot of other things that you can do, but for new or returning players, that's really about it. Doing those will get you the most benefit for the game. As always, check out my New World playlist if you're a new player looking for more advice, and I hope to see you guys in Aeternum.